Joined by Assumption football head coach Bob Chesney for our weekly talk here, Coach. Last week, hard-fought win over Bentley. It's just one game, of course, but now that you've had a week to reflect on it, what were you most pleased with?
Yeah, I think the game overall, was exactly that. It went back and forth. We were down. We showed, great amount of resolve to be able to come back like we did. And as I thought about the big picture, it was about, again, not making mistakes and trying to protect the football. I think that's something we did not do a very good job of in the first game. In the second game, we came out on the plus side of that turnover margin. So I think that's something that certainly helped us, quite a bit, and I think that's something that, going forward, we got to continue to be able to do. We got points when we got into the red zone, which is, again, immense as far as winning a football game is concerned, and then we were able to knock them out of the red zone a little bit, and we were able to create some turnovers. So when you look at those things, just opportunities, I think we created some for ourselves and took some away from them, and I think that was really the biggest thing that we were pleased with.
And right after the game, we talked about the defensive line play that night was great. The offense was also able to really effectively run the ball, especially in a real clutch situation there at the end. Yeah. How would you evaluate our stable of running backs, because we've used a bunch of guys back there?
Yeah, and I think we're going to continue to do that. I think that there are some, they all bring something different, something different to the table. I think that the guy who probably garners the most amount of attention last week is going to be Pedoni. I think Matt did an unbelievable job. And at the end of the game, the poise he had and just the football knowledge he had to get himself down after he got that first down and then to know what we needed to do going forward. I was very, very impressed with everything that he did. They all ran very, very hard. I think that Matt, did an unbelievable job, though, and I think, again, his poise at the end was something we're really, really proud of.
And then another part of the offense, obviously the wide receivers. Junior Eddie Frazier, I thought, may have arguably played his best game at Assumption so far.
Yeah, I think so. I think Eddie, made some good catches, had some good yards after contact as well. Went up and competed. He competed at a high level, away from the ball or away from his body with his hands, and that was impressive to be able to see. Is that he was able to put it all together that day, and something that probably gets missed a little bit is his blocking as well. He's just a fierce competitor, and he really just gives everything he's got all the time. He's fast, he's big, he's strong, and he's using those the way he should be.
Another guy who's been a main part of, I'm sure, teams' defensive plans to try to stop us, Scott Simonson. Teams have tried to lock him up. He's still been making catches. I thought he's been blocking great. Talk about his play so far.
I think I agree with you that he has been blocking great. I'm sure he would like to see a little bit more production, from just numbers standpoint, and I think that's something that will come along with it. I think we needed some other guys to step up. We needed the running game to be able to become a factor, which it has. We needed Eddie and some of the other guys at receiver to take a little bit of the attention away from Scotty, and I think that's something that, right now as you look to defend us, there's a lot there that I think that teams are going to have to worry about. So I think that we just got to continue to distribute the ball and continue to not just be a one-trick pony, so to speak.
And we've talked offense, we've talked defense. Now let's talk special teams. I thought that Tad Bikert, our kicker, gained confidence as the game went on. Obviously, we forced 2 special teams turnovers, and I thought Pat Tyler, our punter, did a great job of helping us control field position in the fourth. Just kind of talk about that group as a whole.
Yeah, well, if you want to talk about them in week 1 from week 1 to week 2, there's a major difference. To have the issues that we had, with some of the punting stuff, and then to be able to really clean it up, was great to see. I think that, again, that's something that's just going to always evolve. As guys, we try to figure out what young guys can help us in some of those positions, what old guys can help us, and what veterans can help us in some of those positions. But as far as the overall special teams are concerned, but when you talk about just the individual play of Tad, and PT, I think that Tad, very, very good. Again, like that going into that game, that was probably one of the concerns. If you look back at last year, when we needed to get points on those close games, we seemed to miss here and there. And he did have one miss, but he came right back and kept his confidence. And really, that's the deciding factor in that game. I think PT at the end, that one punt, 50-some yards, almost 60-yard punt, that really changed the course of that final drive that they were going to be able to put together. So those guys have been getting better each week, even from the beginning of camp until now, but they have to continue to do that. Our whole special teams, offense and defense, everybody's just got to continue to improve. So we're glad to see that improvement from week 1 to week 2, which we thought would be there, and it was. And I think playing a great, first game at a competition level like we played certainly gave us a little bit of an advantage, going into that second game.
We've talked about our team now. Looking ahead here to Stonehill, tomorrow night's opponent. Their quarterback, Logan Meyer, NE10 Player of the Week. They had a running back with a career performance, a wide receiver with a career performance.
Yeah.
What do you expect to see out of Stonehill?
Yeah, I think more of that. You know, they're off defensively. They're very sound. They're very sound. They're very well coached. They're tough. They're disciplined. They're a very good football team. On the offensive side of the ball, this kid is really, really, really good. I'm extremely impressed the more I watch him at quarterback. I mean, he just knows where he wants to go with the football. He understands coverages, and he has a very good knowledge of being able to move people with his eyes and come back to certain passes that he might like. He's scary. You know, he really, really is scary when you watch him back there throw. Then you go to the receiver position, and they got two guys that are just making plays everywhere. You know, they're again, very, very good. So we definitely have our hands full with those guys. I mean, they're really a very, very good football team. We haven't beat them probably in, I don't even know how long, probably close to forever. You know, I don't think anybody on our team has beaten them. So, you know, it's something that, again, it's a challenge that we have to be willing to step up to and see what we can do.
And after 2 weeks on the road, the team's finally going to be home.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of buzz here around campus. You know, what's it going to mean to the team to have the Hound Pound rocking on Friday night?
I mean, that's what it's about, right? That's what it's about. We only have 4 of these. You know, we only have 4 opportunities to be home, so it's important that we take advantage of them. We need the full support that I know that our student body will provide. Again, if our spring game and our preseason scrimmage are any indication when people weren't even here, you know, I'm really excited to see what tomorrow night holds.
Well, thanks, Coach, and good luck on Friday night.
All right, thanks, Ken.